I'm Harvey Bernstein from MiamiArtScene.com. I'm alive on South Beach.
Hi, I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart.
And we're alive on South Beach.
And welcome to our latest episode. Could you imagine going to the beach and seeing horses and a polo match? Well, take a look at this.
I tell you, can these guys ride or what? Now then, here we go. Two players coming in. Looking for the little tap, and it's go bin, and it's through for the... Wait a minute. It's not through for the goal, it's defended. And here comes Columbus again.
Standing with me are these two young ladies who are polo players. Now I have a question to ask you. How do you become a polo player? I know you need a horse. That's the first thing.
You need a horse. I started riding hunter jumper when I was younger, and someone came to me in high school and said, "Congratulations, you're on the polo team. We have a match Friday, so you better learn to play quick." And that's kind of how I started.
What about you? How did you get started?
Same story, hunter jumper, and I saw polo. I was in California, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this looks a lot better."
What's the most exciting part about being in a polo match?
The boys. No, it's the action. It's the thrill of doing a sport on top of an animal. I mean, it's one of the only sports, equestrian sports, that involves a team. So that's pretty unique to polo.
Is that true? Or is it really the boys?
I'm going to go with the boys also, but aside from that, also the adrenaline rush. It's absolutely crazy out there. It may not seem like it. We maybe smiles off the field, but once you get on, it's crazy. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, though.
Watch for the next shot. The ball's up. Through for the goal.
I'm standing with Thomas Cato, who is one of the polo players today, and this was the first tournament that you've played in?
Yes, my first polo tournament I've ever played.
Well, what was it like?
Exhilarating.
And what made you become a polo player?
I was on the beach actually about 4 or 5 years ago, and I saw this actual same event here, and I said, that's something I need to learn how to do, to play. So I didn't know how to ride horses or play polo, so I bought some horses, took some lessons, hired a pro, Luis Escobar, and here I am. I'm also a sponsor. My company sponsors it.
Which company is that?
Merchant Hub.
And if somebody, do you have a website?
Yes, it's merchanthub.com in the U.S. and merchanthub.co.uk for Europe.
Is this gonna be your new path? Are you gonna just become a professional polo jockey?
It's an addicting sport.
And which would you rather do this or your other business?
I think I need both. I need to mix them together, but polo definitely has to stay part of my life.
And let me tell you, so it's really exciting to watch. I had a great time too. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's the next shot. Can you believe that? Inside I tell you, we're seeing some games today, some shots today, literally underneath the pony's neck. He hit that ball from inside the halfway line. Absolutely incredible.
You know, every few years Miami Beach has an uprising, and suddenly paradise is no longer paradise.
A series of investigations launched by the FBI, the state's attorney, the city of Miami Beach, Internal Affairs Department of the police department and fire department has discovered that many of the employees are in business for themselves in addition to collecting their paychecks. And as each scandal unraveled and exposed the individuals, the people that live in the city got angrier and angrier. And now they're mad as hell and they're not taking it anymore.
Recall!
The residents are ignored. They say that the rules are different here, but in Miami Beach, there are no rules. Anything goes, and it's greed, corruption that starts at the top, and pandering to the so-called beautiful people who want to pave over the entire city for their own benefit.
Corruption's been going on as long as I lived here.
We have a climate of corruption on Miami Beach. It starts at the top, and we need to look at everything that's going on. I think we have to have more transparency and more oversight from the commission.
You'd think that was just a lot of ranting and a lot of noise, but in a certain way, the way this city functions, the city commissioners listen to what the people have to say.
Hi, I'm Ileana Ross-Leighton, Member of Congress from South Florida, and I'm alive on South Beach.
If you're one of those people who are planning a trip to China in the near future, I think you'd be interested in this. This is Jerry Libin, and Jerry Libin, I guess, is a community activist, but he's not just a community activist. Among the things that he's involved in, he's one of 6 commissioners, along with the mayor, that really decides the present and the future of Miami Beach. And then he's got a great day job. He's president of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. I understand that the chamber has a program to try to link up with China in as many ways as possible so that we can attract the tens of millions of potential tourists that want to come to South Beach.
We have a committee called the Global Access Council, and the Global Access Council focuses on other countries. China certainly is one of them. That's a program that I started at the City Commission a number of years ago, and it has since moved over to the Chamber of Commerce prior to my joining the Chamber. And we've also reached out to Mexico. We had a delegation trip to Islas Mujeres a little over a year ago. We're looking to do a mission to Sao Paulo, Brazil later this year. So, but China is very much, we've been there 3 times.
What's your best memory of one of the 3 tours that you have already gone to China with?
Well, no doubt the best memory that I have is on our first trip. It was to Beijing. One day we were going to a restaurant, and as we arrived, there were 25 of us on the particular delegation from Miami, and in the corridors of the hallway leading into the restaurant, there was a poster-sized picture of each one of us. Whenever we went to meetings, they were very proper. There was always a nameplate. You know, you felt like you went into a UN, meeting.
That would be appropriate going there. Now, here are people coming here to a different culture. How could we make them feel welcome without doing something that's inappropriate?
Simple things, even in terms of how to hand your business card to somebody and how to receive a business card.
Like, what do you mean?
Well, if you were handing me a business card.
Here, my card.
Okay, but you take it like this, and it would be appropriate to hand my business card to you like this.
With 2 hands?
Like this,
yeah.
And you would receive it. Now, in the States...
Do I take it with 1 hand or 2?
You take it with 2 like this, and when you take it, I'll take the card now, you look at it for a moment. You don't just, as in the States, frequently we get a card and it goes
I
like
know,
this,
I stick it right in my pocket.
That would be a huge insult. So,
okay.
So they expect you to look at it, very nice, and then you can put it away. Showing courtesy, respect, and a slight bow, would show great respect.
People go into public service, for different reasons. But you didn't just step in, you jumped in, and your life is really devoted to this. At the end of the day, based on what you do, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel terrific. I get a high if I'm able to help move a process forward or repair something that needs repairing. To me, that just gives me great personal satisfaction.
I want to thank you this morning.
Stuart, thank you.
I had a good time.
Thank you. We are allowed to do a handshake. So
yeah, okay. And let me give you my card.
Oh, thank you.
You can just stick it in your pocket.
South Beach has evolved into a media mecca, and every artist who is on tour anywhere in the United States somehow manages to get Miami on their list.
This is Wyland, just one name, right?
One name, that's right.
How did you get started in this worldwide adventure that you're on?
Well, I was inspired by Jacques Cousteau, remember? The undersea explorer, and when I was a kid growing up, he was my hero. And then, I grew up in Detroit, and when I was 14, my mom made a little road trip out to Southern California. Saw the Pacific Ocean. I saw 2 gray whales actually spout, and they just raised their tails right in front of me, and it really inspired me to want to be an environmental artist, an artist that was an advocate for conservation of our oceans, whales, and really the water planet. And so I felt strongly that art could play a very important role in not only raising awareness, but inspiring people to action.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've been doing my whole life. I've been kind of sharing my art, my painting, sculptures, those murals that I paint, and now painting with kids, with the world, and it's been fantastic. It's been kind of a lifestyle brand. If we want to protect the ocean, our planet, then, we have to get the message out to young people and kids, And that's the thing. If we want to protect it today, we talk to us. If we want to protect it for the future, we've got to get the kids to think about what we're doing, destroying our environment. I've been on this great mission to engage and empower young people to become youth ambassadors for the planet.
What's your plan for the future? Stay in the same course, or are you?
Well, I'm a fine artist first and foremost. I have Weiland galleries down in the Keys. With the success I've had as a fine artist, I wanted to give something back, so I started the Weiland Foundation. Such a beautiful place. We need to take better care of it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
While outside artists come to Miami Beach to do their thing, we also have a lot of artists that live here and
work. A lot
work.
of good artists. Joining me for some coffee and conversation today is a man I first heard of as the Austrian Primitive. Sounded sort of interesting, and I found out that it's really Herbert Hofer. You originally started out studying architecture?
Well, actually, I'm an architect, and I worked 1 year in Austria. I wanted to build palaces. It was, I concluded I did the wrong thing.
Well, what was the moment when you realized I'm an artist? What caused you to reach that point, and then when did you realize that?
I'm still trying to reach that point.
You don't consider yourself an artist?
People call me a world-renowned artist. Yeah, I've been around the world. I was making my living with painting, but I was actually, when I was a kid, my father was always very mad at me every time I found some empty or almost empty paint pot. I would paint something somewhere, almost like early graffiti. I was always like trying to beautify the world, and so this is when the first time when a person said how much in Italy, this is where I realized, oh wow, I can create a whole life around it. I used two professions, self-made professions. One being an artist, and the other one I started as a stuntman actually with spaghetti western. And then from one thing to the other, a director said, can you say something? And I would actually have one word, a line in a movie. And from that it became more and more, and I would become what you call an actor, And then I used to work with interesting people like Federico Fellini.
I know, I want to ask you about that.
And Robert De Niro and stuff. And of course, every time there was this little gallery in Rome, and every time I worked with somebody on the movie, I would say to my friend, the gallery owner, listen, Friday we have an opening. He said, for what? Why? I said, shut up, and we have an opening. Fellini is coming, So of course, this was how I grinded into this thing and mixed those two things together.
How did you end up here on South Beach?
Well, I used to go a lot to the islands. I always came to Miami first because I didn't want to go from Europe to New York and then go on. Miami was my first stop all the time in the States. And every time I had a little time, I went to the beach, and I fell in love with Ocean Drive, South Beach, palm trees, beaches, the architecture.
This was fun.
Yes.
And we should do this more often, off camera.
More often, off camera also, and also with young artists together.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, this brings us to the end of another episode.
I hope you had a few laughs. I know you gave me a few laughs during this session. You may not see them on camera, but they were very funny. Anyway, we want to thank everybody for watching us and joining us on all our episodes. We promise you that next week we're going to have something very different with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So I'm Stuart Stewart.
And I'm Dina Stewart. We're at the Cafe at Books and Books on Lincoln Road.
And we're live on South Beach
for syndicatednews.net.